Is the NFL the next step in Stetson Bennett's career? On Monday, the Georgia quarterback became just the sixth starting QB in college football history to win consecutive national championships. New York Post sports reporter Zach Braziller was there to witness it. Now, he's here to talk about Bennett's future. Zach, back from the West Coast, the championship game, and it was exactly as you predicted.
Yeah, a rarity. I didn't think it was going to be as lopsided as it was. I mean, that game was over in the second quarter. Once it got to 24-7, Georgia just overwhelmed them, and Bennett was fantastic. 6 touchdowns, 4 passing, 2 rushing. Just an incredible story. And now, look, we'll see what happens here at the next level. He's going to face probably even more doubts than he faced in college, which is saying something. He's 25, he's 5'11", he's not a great athlete, but he did win. It's going to be interesting just to kind of see how he goes here and kind of what happens as he tries to make it on the next level.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about here because you wrote a pretty good piece on this. And as we move towards the NFL draft, you just mentioned there's going to be plenty of critiques about Bennett, right? Including his age, his height. Are those concerns fair for teams who might consider drafting the Georgia QB?
Yeah, clearly they are. As good as he was these last 2 years, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, he is on a loaded team. They have a great defense. They have a great offensive line, great running backs, great tight ends, good receivers. The NFL, there isn't the talent disparity between teams that you see in college. It's going to be very, very hard for him, to stick at the next level when you consider all the shortcomings. But this is a guy that has proved people wrong his entire life. He was able to beat out more talented quarterbacks at Georgia, 5-star guys with, better measurables and better tools. So, I wouldn't count him out. Do I think he can be a backup in the NFL? If everything falls right and he continues to get better and work, yeah, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I always wonder about that too, Zach, and how a player like him gets viewed, right? Is he just viewed as a winner on the collegiate level, or are there other reasons as to why an NFL team would take him in this year's draft?
Yeah, I don't think getting drafted, to me, it might be a stretch, but I do think team will bring him, will bring him to rookie camp and get him a look. He'll get looks. If he impresses the right people, he finds himself in the right situation. Maybe he is a guy that gets the opportunity to work his way up from the practice squad and one day be on a roster, maybe even play some. I don't think he's an NFL starting quarterback. Could he be a backup and a good clubhouse guy? Yeah, I don't see why not. He's incredibly smart. He's a real hard worker. He's determined. We saw all that. I mean, you don't get to where he was at Georgia by accident. He earned it. Now he's going to have to do that all over again in the NFL and put his time in, and we'll see. But I would be surprised if he gets drafted.
So you also mentioned where you think he could be and what his future is. Do you think he can actually help a team when it comes to playing on Sundays? You talked about the backup role, but could he actually help a team, win games? Is there any way he could get on the field? Do you see that at all for him in his future?
Never say never, but I have a hard time seeing it. The NFL is the talent level is just so different. He's small. He doesn't have a great arm. He's not a great athlete. It's going to be incredibly tough. I think his ceiling is as a backup. I do.
Ceiling as a backup, that's what Zach sees for Stetson Bennett. Now, look, Zach, he's back on with the predictions. He had that prediction right in the national championship game. It was over, like you said, pretty early, and you got that right. We'll see about your predictions with Stetson Bennett in his future. It will be interesting to see how teams look at him with the combine draft all coming up in the NFL. We'll see. That is Zach Braziller, sports reporter for the New York Post. Zach, thanks for your time as always, man.
Hey, man, my pleasure.